So let us discuss some important details about respiration in today's video. So heat and water vapor are produced during respiration is the first point. So heat is produced during respiration, which can be demonstrated by keeping the finger in front of nose and exhaling the air out. When you exhale the air out through your nose, you can feel the warmth of the air that is coming out through the nose. So that indicates that heat is produced during the respiration. So in order to prove that actually water vapor is produced during respiration, you can take the specs what you are wearing or any of the mirror, you can go near that and you can just open your mouth, exhale like that. You can see the water vapor being formed on the glass like that. That indicates that during respiration even water vapor is getting released. Then carbon dioxide that is released out during respiration is taken up by plants for photosynthesis. For photosynthesis it is taken up. So that's why we need to put in more plants in and around our surroundings, which will be absorbing the carbon dioxide that is produced by all the individuals, reducing the level of pollution. Okay, and respiration is a catabolic process while photosynthesis is an anabolic process. What does this mean is, respiration, okay, what it is doing, the oxygen that is entering inside is breaking down the bonds in between the nutrients. When something is getting broken down, it will be called the catabolic process. It is called the catabolic process. So respiration is called the catabolic process. By catabolism only, it is producing energy inside the body. Whereas photosynthesis is called anabolic process, that is new molecules are getting synthesized, like our glucose is getting synthesized during the process of photosynthesis. Therefore photosynthesis is an anabolic process. This is a very important sentence to be noted. It can be asked as a bit in the exam. Then next, the carbon dioxide that is given out during respiration will turn lime water milky. Now what is this? Really, are we exhaling out carbon dioxide or not? You can check it by a small experiment. You can take lime water in a test tube. Okay, lime water you can take in a test tube which just looks like the normal water. Lime water is made out using calcium hydroxide. There is a chemical called calcium hydroxide which when dissolved in water is called the lime water. So that test tube you take with the help of the straw, what you do is you blow the air into the lime water. That lime water will turn milky white. Why that will happen is, reaction of carbon dioxide with calcium hydroxide will produce what is called as calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is actually a white substance, a white precipitate actually. So you can see that your lime water, which was colorless initially, when you exhale your carbon dioxide into it, it becomes milky white due to formation of calcium carbonate. Okay, then the next question comes is, do we respire aerobically or anaerobically? Yes. So all of you will say that we respire aerobically because we take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide would be our answer. But do we also respire anaerobically? Yes, we also respire anaerobically. Our muscle cells, which cells? Our muscle cells will show anaerobic respiration. Okay, when there is deficiency of oxygen, when there is oxygen death, when there is oxygen death, that is oxygen deficiency when it is there, then our muscle cells, okay, will be respiring anaerobically. So you might find athletes running, long runs. Usually they will go for a long run, and sometimes in the middle what will happen, they may develop what are called as muscle cramps. They may develop muscle cramps. Sometimes we also, while doing any exercise or something like that, we may get sudden cramp in the muscles. So that cramp happens because of what is called as anaerobic respiration. So our muscle cells, they undergo anaerobic respiration or they perform anaerobic respiration when sufficient oxygen is not available, but still if energy is needed for the body, then our muscle cells switch on to anaerobic respiration and they produce lactic acid. You remember, we have two types of anaerobic respiration, ethanolic and lactic acid, as we have discussed. Ethanolic is by yeast and lactic acid is in lactic acid, by lactic acid bacteria. You can see that in formation of curd. Also in the muscle cells, what will happen? Same, lactic acid would be produced. This lactic acid that is produced will lead to the cramps in the muscles. Okay, and that will go on its own. Cramping is nothing but tightening of the muscle, and lot of pain will come for fraction of few seconds to minutes. So that time when you inhale air properly, take rest, sufficient rest, the oxygen, okay, from exterior when it enters interiorly, then all the cramp will be cleared off and your pain will go. Okay, so this is a very important question that will be asked. So usually why athletes develop muscle cramps is because of our muscle cells performing anaerobic respiration and production of lactic acid. Production of lactic acid leads to muscle cramps. That is the important reason there. Then next is, when we talk about anaerobic respiration, in yeast, we know that the type of respiration is anaerobic. So, in yeast, anaerobic respiration we can demonstrate through a small lab activity is there. So, what you will do in this lab activity is, you take a bottle like this, a closed bottle, a wide-mouthed glass bottle you can take. In that, you take what is glucose solution, because you know that yeast will grow better in carbohydrate containing solution. So glucose solution you take and heat that glucose solution little bit to remove the oxygen from it. Any oxygen dissolved form, if it is there, just heat it and allow the oxygen to get escaped. So after that, to that glucose solution, okay, once you have heated it, you have to cool it, and then you will add yeast. You will add the yeast powder and also a dye called as the Janus green or diazine green it is called. It is called the Janus green or it is called the diazine green dye. So this dye means a color. So this color when you add, what will happen? It will be blue. All the solution will become blue in color. Okay. But because you have removed the oxygen by heating the glucose solution, now when you add the diazine green into that, it becomes pink. So the property of this diazine green is to become pink when there is less amount of oxygen in the solution. So when you add this diazine green and yeast powder into the glucose solution, it will be little pink in color because we have removed oxygen by heating it little bit. Now to this solution, on the top, what you do, you add a layer of liquid paraffin. Paraffin is the material which is used for making candles. You can melt the paraffin and then put a layer up to 1 centimeter depth we will put on the top like that of the solution, and then seal it off so that no oxygen will enter from outside. Then what you will do, you keep it aside for some time, and after some hours you can see that a thermometer, if it is arranged, the temperature in the thermometer will increase, showing that heat is getting produced due to respiration of the yeast cells that have been added to the glucose solution. And also, if you arrange a bent glass rod like this into lime water, what will happen? After a period of time, even the lime water will turn milky. So this indicates that yeast is respiring anaerobically without oxygen. You can demonstrate in the lab by doing this small experiment. So hope you followed, okay, some of the interesting facts what we discussed about respiration. So let us move on and find out some more details.